What's up, Meat Geeks? Nick here with Paradise Locker. Today we're down here with Marisa at Yoli Tortilleria in Kansas City. And so we started a partnership with these guys. It's been 3 or 4 years now, maybe?
4 years, yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
And so they obviously make a lot of different tortillas, and one of their tortillas that they make is a Sonoran style tortilla, if I'm correct. And that uses our pork lard. And so this was a partnership that started, you guys kind of found us looking for some lard, and it's been an awesome partnership. We carry your guys' tortillas up in the store, and we were lucky enough that we got asked if we could come down and maybe take a tour, and so we're going to get to see some manufacturing of some tortillas today.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Welcome.
So thank
Welcome
you very
to
much.
Yoli. Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, if you want to lead the way, we'll work back, and I'll let you take this over and kind of show us around what you guys do down here.
That's good. Well, welcome to our office. Behind here, you're going to see a mural that we did. That's a landscape of the Sonoran Desert. Artist Frank Norton did it for us, so we're very proud of it. And we wanted to have something that makes us smile every day and makes me think about Mexico.
I love it.
So, come on over. Here you'll see our shipping area. So we ship a lot of packages all over the United States. So here's where the magic happens. Come on in.
Thank you. I'll let you go first.
All right. So our factory is divided into sections, flour and corn. This is our flour, and we have everything divided primarily because of gluten-free. So everything of the corn is over there. Flour's here. So here you'll see Maria. We already made some dough balls. These are made, this is de puerco, no? Okay, these ones are made with pork fat, with your pork fat. So what she's doing is, first we get it in the mixer. We mix it with, with very hot water. We get all of our dough. We let that dough rest for a little bit, so we don't use any leavening. We just let it relax on its own, and then we go ahead and do all these balls. And then we have this machine that mimics a comal. And so basically what you have is a very heated press on both sides. So this is heated, and then under it is a whole big heated griddle, basically.
Okay.
And then as it goes down, you're gonna go ahead and see different sections, and it's literally like a baking oven. So you're going through every single part of it, and in each area, we put a different heating temperature. And that's very specific to the type of tortilla we're doing and the size we're doing. As the tortillas come out, so they're absolutely beautiful. They're just really nice and translucent. They're like stretchy, like they can stretch.
And is that one of the reasons that you guys don't use a leavening, to keep them light?
Yeah, it's light, and it's just in Sonora in general, we just don't use leavening. So other parts of Mexico, they might use leavening. In Sonora, we don't.
Okay.
So we have played with some sourdough type tortillas, and those are super fun. But right now, we're just focused on doing this production.
Okay.
Yeah. And so in Sonora, you know, the history is kind of blurry about how it actually happened. As far as flour tortillas come, the flour definitely came from the Jesuits. They came through Sonora, and they saw all this amazing land to go ahead and farm, and they brought the wheat, and they bought a lot of cows. And so they were trying to figure out, you know, they saw the indigenous people there, which is the Yaquis in the city, tribes. They were making corn tortillas, and they thought, well, we can make some flour ones similar to what they were used to in the Middle East.
Okay.
And that's where really the flour tortilla originates. So, you know, a lot of people like to think, oh, the flour tortilla is not really Mexican. Well, at this point it is, because it's hundreds of years that it's been in our culture. But it's definitely a very northern Mexican thing.
Okay.
So you have our cooling conveyors. And then we go ahead and stack them all. And these ones are all going for different restaurants.
And so just stacking and packing on this
Stacking
side.
and packing. That's all we do all day long.
Very nice.
Different batch every day. So lots of tortillas. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take you to the corn side.
Okay. How many tortillas are you typically producing in a day?
Ooh, it just depends on the size,
Sure.
but it is in the thousands. So,
Okay.
you know, it could be anything from 5,000 to 10,000. I know that on the corn side, we use about 30,000 pounds of corn a week.
Okay.
So a lot.
A lot.
Not quite humongous company, but getting
And
there.
all that's done right here with these
Right.
few.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're missing 2 ladies right now. Yeah, and this is the finished product on the, which you probably seen at your shop.
Yep. Those look
And
very
so,
familiar.
Yeah. And then, you know, we have a little blurb up there. So, yeah.
Very nice.
So, we'll get into the prepared foods a little bit, but yeah, this is where we do all of our prepared foods. We do agua frescas, we do tamales, all kinds of different things. We do a lot of grab and go at Yoli. And if you've been into the new Casey Curran Stadium, this is where all the magic of cooking happens, and then we take it over there.
Very cool. It's awesome to see so much in a sports complex.
Yeah.
You know, we were just down talking with Alex with Local Pig, and he's got his brand of
Yeah.
hot dogs in the stadium, and so it's really cool seeing new complex coming and being built, and then really reaching out to local people to.
Yeah, it's so wonderful that they're
concession.
like really focused on the local community and just supporting it. So we have a saying here, sin maíz no hay país. And that's a very Mexican saying. So for those that do not know, corn was actually born in Mexico, in the middle region. It's called teocitle, and it was like basically a weed that you find on the roads. And the indigenous people domesticated it into what we now know as corn. And as first it was different Mesoamerican tribes, then it ended up being the Aztecs, and the Aztecs were the ones responsible of taking it all the way up north and south.
Okay.
And so it goes.
Yeah.
Who knows if it's true? But in Mexico we have this saying because corn is everything for us. It's a part of our subsistence crop. Before that anything happened, before Spain came in or anything, corn tortillas and tamales and all that was just literally how we ate. And then as we got colonized and everything, we introduced like rice and meats and all these different things that we now know as Mexican cuisine. But the one thing that never disappeared, the corn tortilla.
The corn tortilla.
So it's the one that is like, that's what we say, without it, there's no country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So every day we have several tanks over there, you see over there. We will go ahead and cook corn. And it's a process that we call nixtamalization. So we put corn, we put lime, and then we bring it to a certain temperature, then we let it steep, and then we use volcanic rocks, volcanic stones to mill it.
Okay.
So we mill every single day our own corn. And so this is our small mill that we have. We call it small but mighty. And here, I'll bring some stones for you to see. So we're done grinding today, but these stones go right in here.
Okay.
And the corn comes through the bigger, and then as it mills, it comes out through the side. So there's 2 stones that go in. And then right here, we always are catching the masa. So that's our dough. And then that dough gets mixed in here. So mainly the purpose of this, obviously it's a feeder, but it's also mixing the masa. And the reason we do that is to make sure that we have the perfect moisture level.
Okay.
Moisture is very important on corn, on all tortillas and baked goods. But in corn tortillas, if you get a tortilla that's too moist, it's gonna be oval, it's not gonna be really nice looking, it's not gonna puff correctly. And the puff is another part that's important on the corn tortilla. And I'll talk about it here in a second.
Okay.
So here we have the feeder. It feeds through. They're not running corn tortillas right now, but si me pasas un paquetito que hayas hecho. So they just concluded our run, so you didn't get to see that, but this is the final product, and I'm gonna go and open it. And so one of the biggest indicators that you can tell from our tortillas that it's a nixtamal con tortilla is that you can just go ahead
And it doesn't crumble.
It doesn't crumble. And that is when you know that you got a real nixtamal tortilla. If it's made of like masa harina, which is basically the corn masa gets dehydrated and then pulverized, then it will crumble.
Okay.
Because we don't ever go through dehydration and rehydration.
Okay.
That's what. And so since you're taking literally like the whole corn kernel, cooking it, and then doing it into the masa, and then cooking it into tortilla, you get a lot more elasticity. So it's a lot stronger. So that's usually like a big characteristic that we show customers, that you don't need to double our corn tortillas. They will hold up. Also, I love sharing this with people. There's two sides of the corn tortilla. And so this one would be your outside side that you would go ahead and put your taco. And this one, we call it in Mexico, pancita, little belly, because this is where it's puffing when it's cooking. And this will take all the juices of all your good meats. And so it has
more texture to it.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, so you can, whenever you get our tortillas, just look for it and you'll see like a very smooth side. And then you're gonna see one that has all this puffiness. That's where you wanna put your meat on, and it's gonna hold up and it's gonna do great.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty much it. We have different varieties of corn that we source. Much like you guys, we do a lot of...
talk a little bit, because we were just off camera, we were having a conversation about you guys and sourcing your corn and how important what you're starting with is.
Yeah, so we source all, so the blue ones are actually from Smithville. Corn. This one is from Illinois. And then these small sacks, and then I have a bunch of cases over there. That's coming right now from the University of Missouri. And so what I'm actually doing is a really cool project. They're trying to see all the different varieties of corn that they can actually grow here in United States that comes, you know, from all the different Native American areas, all the way down from Peru, all the way through like North Carolina, like everywhere, and trying to figure out which corn is the best for tortilla production or different kinds of use cases. And so they send me all this different type of corn that they actually have farmed in University of Missouri. And then I will process it and I give them all the details and then send it back to them and say like, this corn is wonderful. It'll make excellent tortillas. Or this corn, no, not quite. Maybe use it for distillation. Also, we have done some beers. And so we also experiment with their corn for beers and different fermentation projects. And I'll say like, this corn will be great for, has the right starches and everything. It would be a great flake corn or things like that. And then I know that there's another distillery partner that is also testing for them. And are all, like what we're really trying to do is diversify the corn that is being farmed in the Midwest. So they're putting all that into a database. So if you're a farmer and you're trying to figure out, oh, well, I'll do so many acres for feed, and maybe I'll reserve this many acres for other projects, which kind of corn should I farm, which that I could get, you know, good sale for it. And so they'll go and search in this database and it's like, oh, there's a tortilleria in Kansas City. They love this corn. Maybe I give them a call and say, would you take my corn? So it's kind of like a really fun way to use capitalism to diversify the agriculture sector and making sure that, you know, the farmers are getting the right pricing for the corn. And, you know, it's a really great project, I think.
That's awesome to hear. So what do you guys look for? What makes a good corn for tortillas versus distilling versus any of the other reasons?
It's a lot of it. It's going to be, obviously, we're looking for texture after it's cooked and it's ground. That really changes from different levels of the starch of the corn. There's some corn that is really great for, we call it pozolero. So it's very good for soups. So the grain is going to grow, it's going to fluff, it's more floury. It's just in general softer. And so that corn is great for a different, like maybe a soup. And even that one we can actually grind in a certain way that we can use it for tamales. And then there's other corn that is just, you know, it's a little bit harder dent. And that's what usually it's the most successful for our tortillas. Now, each type of corn will have a different flavor profile. So, for example, we'll have here, you know, some of this beautiful, this is tiny blue one. And this one is gonna be really earthy, and it's just really fantastic corn. I know it's a little, but it's still really wonderful for tortillas. And the color that we're gonna get is gonna be a really dark, deep blue, and we just really enjoy it. We have some other one, like we were talking before, and it's all the way over here. This one comes from your backyard, not too far. This is one of the pasvinas that we've been using, and it's kind of multicolored corn, mainly as yellow and blue. So the end result, obviously, when you grind this, it's gonna be a light green. This one is known for high protein levels.
Okay.
And so it's a great for, you know, any vegetarian diet. It really is gonna be fantastic, nutritious, and actually it's very delicious. So yeah, it's just different corns, different properties.
Very nice.
Get out of here. Yeah. Can just go back. And over there, we always have our process. So we get the corn, we nixtamalize it.
These are all your steps here.
Yeah, all of our steps.
So not a simpler way to set out the process for everybody to learn, right?
Yes, exactly. We host a lot of students, culinary students, and we always love to have them here over. Sometimes they will come and we'll teach them the process, how to do things, and then
That's awesome.
they'll take them back to their school.
Yeah,
So,
very cool.
high schoolers, they're awesome.
Well, this is super cool.
Yeah. And that's about it.
Well, Marisa, thank you so much for having us down. It's been really cool seeing what you guys do down here and the process that it goes through. It was really interesting hearing about the different aspects of corn and all the little intricacies that go into the different types of corn and what they're good for. You know, that's one thing, you know, working with a starting product that is better than, you know, than some of the other things that are out there. We talk a lot about that with what we do, right? Mm-hmm. With heritage breed pork, with naturally raised beef. You know, I kind of liken it to a thing I like to say, where you can give an artist a napkin,
yeah,
and they can make a cool sketch. Mm-hmm. But if you give you give an artist the ceiling to a church, they can make history. So a lot of that goes into, and it's really important for you guys to know where your things are coming from, how it's being grown, and the quality. And so I think that's really cool.
And I think it really makes a difference on the end product. If you know where you're sourcing it. Also, not only that, you build relationships.
For sure.
And so when you get something that is not quite right, you give them a call, you have some questions or whatever, and likewise, it just goes both ways. So for us, it's just building this amazing, rich community in the middle of the United States. I mean, it's awesome.
Absolutely.
We're so lucky.
And we learn from each other. We can get better at what we do. We get different aspects, different views on, you know, all that kind of stuff. So
we have farmers come here with their families sometimes on a Saturday, call us, and they want to come and see it. And they bring the whole family, like grandparents and everything, because they're so proud that we're using what they do. And then we go over there to the farms, and also we have done some harvest parties and all kinds of different things that it just really teaches like how good it can all be if we all work together.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your guys' time. Guys, hope you've enjoyed this. It was really fun for me to come down and see a little bit of this, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. So we appreciate you stopping in, and we'll see you next time.